notebook. Pen. Notebook. Oh, it's over there. There you go. And we're back. South Africa and Namibia. Hello, people. Anything happened in that previous game? Anybody see that one? I know you're really here for South Africa and Namibia, but yeah. Anybody happen to catch that last one, or you just didn't bother? Far out, man. My heart is still racing. Heart is still racing. That was crazy. Halfway through the review. Yeah, man, I've never been so quick to get a review up in my life. Unbelievable. Bear with me just a second. I'm just going to switch the Namibia game on. I'll turn that down in a second, folks. There we go. South Africa in the middle of the anthem. Man. Awesome game. Best World Cup already. I mean, as amazing as that was, it's never fun if it's your team that gets upset, but I don't think anyone would deny the Japanese just the joy of that home victory, man. I didn't pick it. I sure didn't pick it. Happy you don't have to take the banter alone. Yeah, as South Africans, any of you guys South Africans are watching, you are probably uniquely positioned to kind of feel for the Irish in this, but also it's probably kind of nice that no one's just going to talk about that one game anymore. So there's a new story. I know, man, Japan. This means New Zealand might face Ireland in the quarters. I know. And Ireland have already shown kind of two faces. That team against Scotland were phenomenal, and that team against Japan were pretty lackluster. So what did I think of Japan beating Ireland? Man, it was crazy. It was crazy. We'll see what happens with that pool. I mean, someone's got to go out. Is it going to be Ireland? Is it going to be Scotland? Is it going to be Japan? Somebody's not going to make it. Speaking of Scotland, tonight's Heineken is Scotland, and they will be watching that game with interest. Yes. New World Rugby teams are improving. Yeah, hope so. That game was crazy. Crazy. Lost for words. What do you think the score will be for Wales versus Australia? I think it'll be 7 or less either way. Is that sitting on the fence? I think it'll be tight. How happy are the Saffers right now? Probably pretty happy. They're going to be in the news tomorrow for getting an expected win over Namibia, whereas nobody's talking about the Japanese upset over South Africa from 2015 anymore because they got something all new to talk about. South Africa are the happiest team right now. They're not the only team to lose to Ireland. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Japan, the intercept won the game. Yeah. I mean, Fukuoka didn't score it, but it put them right down the right end. And what happened to the end? Why did they kick it out? I don't understand. I haven't seen any of the post-match stuff yet. I was literally do the review, put my daughter to bed, come here with you guys. So I don't know what. Maybe they didn't hear the hooter. What happened? What happened at the end? Sushi versus potato. Sushi wins. Yeah, but the potato goes the distance. You know what I mean? Like sushi, you don't want to eat after a couple of days, but potatoes, you stick them in the cupboard for a couple of weeks, they're still good to go. So don't count out the potatoes, man. Didn't hear the gong. Seriously. Oh, man. I mean, I know it's different from the regular old siren. This game has just got underway, by the way, if anyone is going to pay any attention to this one after that one. But you got to hear it, man. You've got to be able to hear it. Samoa are going to send Ireland home. Oh, it depends which Irish team shows up, man. Like, it wasn't that long ago that Ireland were looking the best team of all the teams that played in that first round. They just punished Scotland like nobody's business, and then what happens a week later? Love the jersey. I've been trying to kind of give both teams a jersey rep for the videos, and I was like, I think Ireland are going to win. So I'll wear Japan for the preview, and I'll wear Ireland for the review. And I had it ready. I had it on the chair, had it ready to go. And I've done that for multiple games, so it's not like I'm causing bad luck. But, yeah, I couldn't wear the Ireland jersey after that. I had to wear Japan. Had to wear Japan. World number one, eh? Oh, man, Halan. I think South Africa may be in for an early score. Namibia are going to need a tackle like demons. I do like that Namibia jersey. That is quite nice. Watch out for Samoa. Samoa need to improve, man. They were less than impressive in their first half, but then kind of got better. So, but maybe second game, they will hopefully be a bit sharper. So they've already gone 7 phases. They're like a meter out from the Namibian line. I feel like this is only a matter of time. I would love it if Brits scores. Maul over the line. Make sure you wear your Wales jersey tomorrow. Is that for the review? Yeah, because I wore the Aussie jersey in the preview. The score is still 0-0 after like 2 minutes. Samoa did better than Japan against Russia, though. Yeah, in the second half, they really turned it on, but they looked real bad in the first half, and they've had a couple of guys cited and suspended. And Russia, remember, were on a real short turnaround, played exactly the same team, and probably were getting tired. So, not to take away from Samoa, I still think they're a good team, but I don't know if we can read too much into that first game. We will see. I also didn't pick Japan to beat Ireland, so there you go. I feel Samoa will get the Ireland backlash. Yeah, that's the opposite end of what could happen, eh? So, yeah. Ireland peaked too early. Is that Michael Barnett saying, "Can you shut up?" Trying to watch the game. Hope these guys in the box really utilize the opportunity they have been given. Yeah, I mean, they made quite a few changes, so this is not a match where they can just kind of go through the motions. They need to step up. I know, Michael. Thank God Japan beat Ireland. It's made for, I mean, if the Uruguay result was celebrated. Oh, it's Brits. If the Uruguay result was celebrated, how good is this one going to be celebrated? Is the Brits getting? No, it's low. Francois Lowe got the try. I thought it was Brits. I fear for my whiteboard with this game. I may run out of space. If the Springboks are going to get lots of try scorers, let's hope multiple guys score tries, so I only have to write their name once and then write the minutes rather than name. Because what was that game the other day where they scored a ton of tries? Was it Italy? Italy scored a ton of tries, and none of them were the same guy. Each try was scored by a different person. It is Brits. Is it Brits? Is it Francois Lowe, or is it a knock on? They're going to the TMO now. Some of you guys may be slightly ahead. What's going on? No try. Escasivo, what did you think of that American result? You missed it. You went to school. Oh, he dropped it. This cameraman are confused. It happens a fair bit. The commentary, I don't know which feed you guys have for the previous game, but honestly, the commentator could not have had a very good seat because he couldn't tell Peter O'Mahony from Rob Kearney. So, I mean, I will admit, if I was watching, I don't know, Georgia again tomorrow, I would get a lot of the guys mixed up. But the guy was from, I think he's a UK commentator. He should know the Irish team. A little disappointed, but it was expected. Yeah. They were pretty bad. Surely that's an advantage from the scrum. Yeah, they probably should have gone back for a scrum advantage because Namibia were getting monstered. Let's be nice to Namibia, though. They are in for a long night. Oh, here comes the Springbok scrum. That's a penalty. So it's later rather than sooner, but it still came. I see the Welsh commentator. I think Vickerman was my commentator. And they had the Scottish guy, the kicker. What's his name? Not Hastings. The other guy. The guy who came into the team after Hastings. Winger come kicker. Scotland look fooked now. It's tough, isn't it? But you never know. After beating Ireland, maybe Japan are vulnerable. You know, sometimes you feel like you've got that big game, so the next game will be easier. You underestimate them. It's been known to happen before. Chris Patterson, that's the guy. Thank you. Streaming from DSTV and the feed is Potkak. Sorry to hear that. Spark Sport seems to have got their A into G because this stream is working remarkably well. No more issues. Another scrum penalty for Namibia. It's not going good. This means it won't be a Box versus Ireland quarterfinal. I was so looking forward to a Springbok Ireland quarterfinal because that would have two of the angriest faces in world rugby going up against each other. Eben Etzebeth, angry face. Peter O'Mahony, angry face. Seeing those guys, angry face to angry face, at a World Cup in a knockout game, you wouldn't do better than that. Rugby different from football, and there's still that good banter. I agree. I used to work with a guy from Manchester when I was working at my first job in New Zealand, and he said he once went to watch a football game away, and then his team won. He was a Manchester United supporter, boo, but he got chased up a tree by the fans after the game. They wanted to beat him up, so that doesn't usually happen in rugby. Whoa, Welton Yankees just got smashed. Who's watching the Roosters and the Storm game? Is that a semi-final? Man, how many penalties is that? I feel like Namibia is going to get a card soon. Have a word to your players. The scrum one's hard to have a word about. Hey, scrum better. Japan have caused major upsets in World Cups back-to-back. Yes. How good is that for the game? Will there be an article tomorrow about Japan fielding a bunch of non-Japanese players? Score is still 0-0 after 8 minutes, but virtually the whole game has been played in Namibia's 22. And Aussie commentator on my one keeps calling De Jager De Jager, like Jägermeister, I guess. He wants to drink De Jager. There it is, the first try to the Springboks. Was that bonky? Nice. Tanaka is a good scrum half. Yes, he is. Although he's getting a bit old. Score prediction. I think I picked South Africa by like 60 points. I was being a bit conservative, seeing as I made a bunch of changes. I bet the Boks are having nightmares about Japan right now. I think the Boks are probably pretty happy they're playing Namibia right now. And far away from the Japanese team. Nobody wants to be near Japan. The team. They're all in Japan. Oh, man. This guy's going to get the... What's this guy's name? I forget his name. The Aussie commentator on my feed. No, not O'Brien. It'll come to me. His South African names are not said very well. He's calling them Yanchis, I think. I think I probably used to say Yanchis as well, but... 7-0 after 10 minutes. Who predicted Ireland the game to win? No, I picked Ireland, so wrong. Do you reckon Namibia can beat Canada, finally get a World Cup win? Yeah, I think that game will be pretty hotly contested. I think that'll be one of the better games to watch of the tournament, but who knows? Hopefully, I think it'll be a good game. Jokingly picked Japan by 2. Well, that was a good pick, man. Sometimes you need to pick the upset, but they're just hard to pick. Yanchis is what my commentator is saying. I can't remember his name. Mark, call the next point scorer for a cheeky super chat. Oh. Next point scorer. Let's go Brits, man. I want to see Brits score. That's very unlikely, obviously, but still, it'd be fun. All bitter are saying Japan has lots of foreigners. You commit yourself to the team. There are no foreigners. Yeah, I mean, I think with that Japanese team, a lot of those guys have been there for a number of years. So, yeah, they are definitely more Japanese than a lot of guys who we would, who are playing for some other teams anyway. Man, I don't think Namibia's been in South Africa's half yet. The All Blacks are the only team that hasn't lost to a Tier 2 team. Is that true? Man. It wasn't that long ago they hadn't lost to Ireland either, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of records are broken in my lifetime. It's funny, my dad said, like, maybe when I was 20, that he wanted to see 2 more World Cups go to New Zealand before he died. And I was like, man, you're dreaming. Because we hadn't won one since 1987. And than we got too. So it happens. New Zealand's got a great history. Yes, Scotland better beat Japan. Not going to be easy. Oh, without a bonus point. Okay, for sure. New Zealand have lost to Zimbabwe before. Is that a fact? 1949-ish on the tour. The pity about Zimbabwe. I mean, I couldn't remember, but somebody reminded me a long time ago in a video that Zimbabwe was it the 87 and 91 Cups? Huge respect to Japan for sure. They're going to be taken a wee bit more seriously after that result. Oh, Rhodesia. Yeah, Rhodesia. That was what it was before Zimbabwe, right? Munster beat the All Blacks. Didn't one of the Welsh teams beat the All Blacks as well? Was it like Llanelli or something? Beat the All Blacks back in the 80s or something like that? $11 a.m. and having a drink for Japan. Nice one, man. Nice. I've already started drinking Scotland. Try time, South Africa. Another maul. That's Francois Lowe. Man, they're going to dominate this game. This game is a try count. Will Namibia score a try? That's the question. I saw one of the former American players tweeted after that America-USA game, like last try wins. Well, that was pretty funny because they got smashed, but they still managed to get one try. Do you think Ireland can get out of their pool? I think they will. Bonus point victory in the first game. Bonus point loss to Japan. Yeah, if you're going to... I think they'll make it. Simon. He looks enough like Brits. Thanks for the stream. All right, cheers, Simon. Appreciate it, man. It was close. That was a forward. Oh, he's off the post. Cheers, Simon, man. That's very generous of you. I never knew you were in Hong Kong, Simon. 12-0. Did I know that? Most likely another training run for South Africa. It would be good if Namibia were able to fight back somehow. It would be nice for them to score a try. You like that moment where the team gets a try against the big team. Namibia are all over the shop. There might be a yellow card here. I think one of the guys slapped the ball down. Yellow card Namibia, I reckon you might be right. Uh-oh. This is going to be a long night. Hi, Angus. Hi. Hi. As an Irishman, Japan so deserved that win. Beautiful hands, a fast offload. Great to watch. However, we weren't good enough in the second half. Thanks a lot. Yeah, man. I mean, nobody wants to be that team that gets upset. Although we all love to see an upset as long as it's not our team, right? So that's a cool attitude because Japan played really well. Interesting that Ireland towards the end started doing offloads and whatnot. But, yeah, it just wasn't enough. Didn't score in the second half, so... Oh, there's another try to South Africa. It's Mbonambi again. Damn. Is this game going to go 100 points? That's crazy. Already. What's the time in New Zealand? It's 10 past 10 in the evening. 10 past 10. My daughter's got a slight fever, so I can hear her crying in the other room. But my wife is with her. She's already seen the doctor. She's all good, but she's got a wee fever. So you may hear baby crying. Hopefully not. Hopefully she goes to sleep. 6 a.m. there. Okay, where's here? Score, please. It's 17-0 after 17 minutes. Elton Yankees is lining up the conversion for the third try. New York, right. 12 p.m. in South Africa. That's a great time for a game. Have a bit of lunch. Have beer. Watch some rugby. Ooh, I can hear the babies crying. Nice kick, 19-0. 11-10 in Wales. Not too far from lunchtime then. They got the worst coach Wales ever produced. Namibia. No, sorry, Kingsley Jones is, and this is a Russian coach. Okay, Lynn Jones, true. 1 p.m. in Romania. Nice. Hopefully you've had your lunch. Man, you guys are all over the place. Oh. The Beast just put in a big hit on one of his opposite numbers. Namibia have actually got the ball, but they're going backwards with it. I hope most of you guys are watching this one, but this could get really ugly. This could be like a club game. Just sub. Nice one, man. Getting a little bit messy. I don't mind the South African backup jersey, eh? I'm not sure they needed to wear it, though. Why do they need to go white when they're playing a team who plays in blue if their normal jersey is green? Is that because green and blue clash? I know for some people with like kinds of color blindness, you can't tell the difference between blue and green, but don't know. It's beer o'clock here. It's beer o'clock here too, man. We are in the same time zone. Ten Road to Vegas. Road to Vegas. My wife wants to go to Rotorua at some point again. We haven't been for a wee while. If Namibia can keep it under a point a minute, it will be a psychological victory to Namibia. You could be right. Whenever I used to play Rugby 08 on my PlayStation 2, a point a minute was always the target. So, yeah. The colors of the jerseys is because of a TV issue in sports. It must be contrast. Okay. Maybe green and blue are too similar. Favorite tag never suits Ireland will scrape into quarterfinal and throw the kitchen sink at the All Blacks. I wonder how the All Blacks are feeling about that result now. I think they were quite looking forward to a nice Japan or a nice Scotland. Wow, Namibia actually got the ball out of a scrum that was moving very quickly backwards. Oh, they're attacking. They're in the Springboks half. I think that's the first time. The crowd is getting pumped. I think they might have knocked it on there, but the ref didn't see it. It's for colorblind people. Yeah, I know blue-green colorblind is one of the more common ones. Namibia have got advantage in everything. Namibia are about to get a penalty. Do they take the shot at goal to make sure they don't get nil? Or do they go for a try? Love the Japan jersey. Well, if there's a time to wear a Japan jersey, it's probably this one. I still think Ireland will top the pool. They need Scotland to do a good job for them, don't they? They need Scotland to beat Japan. I mean, that pool lots of stuff could still happen in that pool. Namibia are going to take the 3. Nice. You never like to get 0. Stream delay is mental. I kind of prefer it when the stream delay is on my end rather than you guys, because if I'm dishing out spoilers every 2 minutes, it's not a good thing. But it's always because it's a streaming service here in New Zealand, you can't watch the games on TV for the most part, and the streaming services are always slower. Amped for Rugby Challenge 4. I hope they get those Rugby Challenge games right. I played the first one, and it was like okay. But they didn't even have any set pieces that you could do, so it was a bit weird. Do you think Scotland will beat Japan? If you'd asked me yesterday, I would have said probably. I'm not so sure now. Nice. Namibia on the board. And despite the fact they've got a man down, they still managed to kick a penalty. What's your opinion of Sanzal letting go of the Sunwolves? I always like the Sunwolves in Super Rugby, so it's a bit of a disappointing one. But yeah, the Super Rugby's been in a pretty bad way, so they need to do something about the format, and they figured going one team down was going to solve that problem, so... And Quacker Smith's just given away a penalty. Okay. What's the score? Yes, 19-3 after 24 minutes. Do you think Argentina could field another team? Yeah, if they did, it'd probably make them not as strong as the Jaguares are right now. But if you look at most of the Tier 1 nations, they've got at least 2 pro teams, right? Italy's got 2. Scotland's got 2. So you need probably 2. So it'd be good if they did get a second one, but I don't know where you find room for it. Who do you think will win the Mitre 10 Cup? Right now, Tasman is looking pretty good. They put Auckland to the sword the other day, and Auckland were defending champions. So, yeah, not good for my team. But I've hardly watched any of the Mitre 10 Cup, to be fair. I've been watching all this World Cup stuff. So, but Pro 14 started. Top 14's been going for a while. Premiership started. So there's lots of rugby on right now if you're a rugby fan. It's kind of a rugby dream. Get rid of the Blues, I reckon. Come on, man. Original champions, you can't touch them. Oh, that was forward, surely. But Pimpy's just scored. I thought Yankees has passed. That's Herschel's. I thought that was a touch forward, but it could just be the camera angle. NRC as well. Yep, there you go. How do you rate Samoa's chance of getting through? Play a Scotland team with injuries on Monday. If Samoa put the Scots out, Ireland in doubt. No one will be talking about this possibility. Yeah. I mean, Samoa didn't convince me that much, although they were good in that second half against Russia, but it is pretty hard to gauge. I swear that pass was forward. All right, they're not going to call it. I guess as an All Blacks fan, I should be saying that pass was flat, right? Off topic, rugby needs a new game. It can't be EA. America, Madden is so broken. EA only cares for money. They don't fix the games. They lie too much nowadays. Yeah, the rugby games generally haven't been the best. Rugby 08 was good. It had a lot of depth. It had a lot of bugs in it. Like, there were a lot of exploits you could do at line-out time and like some of the set plays, but it was still probably the best rugby game I've played. I've played Rugby Challenge 1, I think, and I didn't think it was that hot compared to a lot of the other games out there. Sports games, FIFA, Madden, the NHL, all that stuff. Try Rugby Challenge 3. It's a great game. Okay, maybe I should give it a try. Ireland could meet the All Blacks. I wonder how the All Blacks are feeling about that. I mean, the All Blacks would look at that Japan-Ireland game and go, yeah, we're going to win. But then you look at that Ireland-Scotland game, it wasn't that long ago, and New Zealand's recent record against Ireland is not the best. Not the best. NHL next Thursday. I know, I'm looking forward to that. That'll be good. Although the NHL is a hard one to watch many games because there's so many games. They play every other day. How long have you been watching rugby for? Like, you mean in my life? Rugby 95 on Sega Mega Drive was best for me. Both South Africa and New Zealand last games against Ireland were losses. Good point. Hope you support my Bruins. No, I do not support the Bruins. But McAvoy is a pretty good player. I do like Zdeno Chara, but I mean, he's just a big bloke, isn't he? Zdeno Chara could probably play rugby. What time is it in New Zealand? It's now 10:20 at night. That's when I start to look pretty tired. 24-3, 29 minutes gone. South Africa against Namibia. The game has settled down a wee bit because at the start, Namibia were just getting absolutely trounced, but it's coming a little bit better. Oh, Ruben, you're back, man. Thank you for that, Ruben. Cheers, man. Good to have you back. Cheers for the super chat. Appreciate it, man. Hope the Boks get a century. They're behind at the moment. They needed to be 24 points about 10 minutes ago, but if they run away with the game towards the end, Ruben, you never know. Seems unlikely. At this rate, they're looking more for like 60 or 70. But again, last 20 minutes, they might get even more. Has Yankees just kicked that dead? Oh, man. It was close. Good call from the linesman, though. That was touch and go. New Zealand versus Japan final. That'd be tough. But Japan at home right now looking pretty good. Criminal from Yankees. I know. He was trying to chew off those extra yards and just chewed off probably too many. Japan looking super clinical. I'm super impressed. Their defensive stats were phenomenal, man. Absolutely incredible. But I guess it showed a bit of Ireland's attack being a little bit one-dimensional. And that was what allowed them to kind of soak up that pressure. It was weird because every now and again Ireland would like throw the offloads and stuff, which Joe Schmidt's supposedly not a big fan of. And that's when they looked to get a bit of space, but they didn't do it consistently. So, can Italy beat South Africa? I mean, Italy have looked pretty good their last two games, but they've played not top opposition, so it is hard to judge. I would have said no, to be honest. It'd be less likely than Japan beating Ireland, put it that way. Group A is looking scarily similar to last World Cup. Japan beat the first seed. Scotland lose to the first seed. As a Scottish fan, I hope the World Cup repeats itself. We get enough bonus points. Yeah, it was bonus points that cost Japan last time at the World Cup, so it'd be interesting to see how that plays out. Japan still need to beat Scotland. Italian fullback is a machine. Yeah, Minozzi. He is very, very good. Hey, big shock for Ireland. You're not kidding, man. That was huge. That was crazy. It's good for the World Cup, though. There's a bunch of Namibian fans here. That's cool. They got beers in hand. They're having a ball. If Ireland can't produce 3-second rucks, their attack stalls today. Many rucks were 5 seconds or more. Interesting point. You do need that quick ball. That's how they kind of suffocate teams, huh? Who do you think Ireland will bring? Oh, is Conan out? I knew he was out of the squad, but is he out of the... He's out of the squad entirely. I hadn't heard that. I knew he was dropped and they brought Ruddikin for this game. I didn't know he was like totally gone. Man, they're losing some loosies there. That's a pity. Ireland looks set for New Zealand probably. Now that would be a challenge. I can't imagine the All Blacks. I mean, they're not going to be afraid of that, but nobody's going to look forward to it. Please give me the team that's beaten us most recently. Well, actually, Australia's beaten us more recently, but you know what I mean. We beat them in the second game. Favorite Irish player? Who is my favorite Irish player? I'll have to think about it. Stockdale's very likable, isn't he? But I'm kind of loath to pick a player who is just that absolute superstar, scores tries from anywhere player, because everybody likes that player. Actually, probably James Ryan. Or Peter O'Mahony. Yeah. Those guys. As a Canadian, it's a shame that Jamie Cudmore retired. He was a great leader. I'm sure I remember him in a game against France when France had a huddle and were talking about what they were going to do. Cudmore just came over and just like stood with them and was like, yeah, what are you guys like talking about? What are you guys plotting? How are you guys going to get through these Canadians? And then they realized who he was and they shoved him away. I don't know how much French he spoke. I know Canadians speak kind of varying levels of French, but if that was him, I think it was him. That was classic. From Galway in Ireland. Nice to have you, man. Favorite Wales player? Okay. Who is my favorite Wales player? Probably Tipperick. Probably. Okay, I'm just pausing because the commentator was saying they had Habana tell the commentary team how out in Yankees liked his name said, and he likes it said Yankees. Apparently, that's why they say. That's why we're saying Yankees. Is that a Cape Town thing? Oh, Liam Williams. True. Yes, spot on. Cudmore understands French as well, and he played in France. Right. Yeah, I remember that moment. That was hilarious. The balls on that guy. Just to join their huddle and be like, okay, what do you guys got planned? I'll listen and crazy. So far, so good for Spritz as Lucy. This is probably not the biggest test for him as a Lucy, but yeah, sure, he's doing all right. Good choice on Tips. Oh, you can't not like Tips, man. He's another just absolute tackle machine, turnover, athletic, great player. You can't not like him. I'm just glad South Africa won't be the poster boys on how Japan beat us. Ireland get to suffer for that for the next 4 years. Can you imagine if Japan get to the quarterfinals and knock out a big team? Then everyone's even going to give Ireland a break. It'll be somebody else's turn. It could happen. Yankees is pronounced Yankees. I've heard it said like Yankees, but also Yankees. I heard it kind of differs depending on where you're from. Like people in Cape Town have a slightly different pronunciation, but I'm far from an expert on that. The one thing I'm glad about Japan beating Ireland is that they go on to beat Scotland, and we won't be the only ones. Yeah. There won't be quite the same shock about Japan beating Scotland if that happens. Not saying it will, but like I think people thought, well, Japan aren't going to beat Ireland, but they might beat Scotland, and everybody wrote off Samoa. So those guys could be just sneaking under the radar as well. It's an interesting pool. You're actually saying it right the way you do. I live 20 kilometers from high school. Yankees. You say Yankees is right or Yankees is right? Nobody says it the way the commentators do. So the cheese way or the keys way? As long as the Irish fan, as a long-time Irish fan, I can tell you we're far better at suffering than the box. Okay, that could be true too. The Keys way. Okay. I've been told that the Keys way, Yankees, is like the standard way to say it. And that if they do it in Cape Town differently, that's kind of their thing. But language can be funny like that. Steven. Damn. You must be in a good mood after that Japan game to be giving me that much money. Bro, are you sure? I will finish this beer. Not that there's that much left. From me and the imbiber, we are eating gyoza. Still buzzing from the Japan and Ireland game. No doubt, man. Cheers to that, and see how they go against these guys. Thank you, Stephen, man. Cheers, guys. Tell the imbiber I still haven't finished his sake. I've got like a little bit left. Maybe I should finish it for tonight. The imbiber's got a Japan YouTube channel, Japan rugby YouTube channel. And he sent me sake once when the Blues beat the Sunwolves. So that was a long time ago, and I haven't finished it. But anyway, thank you, Stephen, and the imbiber. I appreciate that, guys. Tomorrow's game, Wales versus Australia. Who will win? Oh, don't ask me that question. Flip a coin. That could go either way. I don't know. Scooter, who I also talked to on Patreon. Welcome, buddy. Is Pool A the real pool of death? You might be right, man. Everyone thought it was Pool C. Maybe there's two pools of death with Japan at home. What's the money for? Some guys just on the streams put in like a tip, I guess, a super chat. So that's a thing. It comes up. I don't know if it comes up real big on your guys' screen, but it comes up huge on my one. So it's very attention grabbing. Colby is amazing. Colby is amazing. How can I give money? On my one anyway, there's like a little dollar sign down at the bottom. So, but you don't have to. I do appreciate when people do, but I really enjoy the company of the streams. It's been really good fun. Next beer, by the way, I have second one lined up, is Samoa. I've got so many Samoa beers in that crate. I swear about half of them are Samoa. So they're trying to tell me something about Pool A. It's supposed to be a good mix of different countries, but there's a lot of Samoa. In a 24-pack, I think I've seen at least 5 or 6 Samoas. Springboks and Ireland going to start a WhatsApp group. Yeah. Maybe the Irish guys need to give the Springboks guys a call just to like go through the grieving process and see how they got through it. I mean, it's not like the Springboks were bad in that World Cup either. They weren't that far from going all the way. So I wouldn't write Ireland off after that game either. Current score, it is 24-3 to South Africa after 40 minutes. It's almost half-time. And South Africa scored pretty much all those tries within like the first 20-something minutes. So it's been a bit of a dry patch for them. Namibia have actually settled the game down pretty nicely. That being said, 8 phases and South Africa get a try. Look on your arm. Oh, Sean Maloney is the commentator. We'll pay money for him to keep his clothes on. Definitely. Yes, definitely. That's a reference to somebody else who told me to get naked. We don't want to get naked. We keep clothes on in this stream. Oh, thank you, Ewan, man. Too kind. I'll open my beer for that one, buddy. One other thing I learned on this stream is if you don't bring a bottle opener, you can use your belt buckle. That's good life advice. Use your belt buckle to open a beer. Cheers, mate. Thank you for the tip. I appreciate it. Good to have you along. Samoa. I wanted to give you money, but the naked chat was making me too nervous. Yeah. There ain't going to be no naked chats, never. So that's probably a good thing for all of us to be aware. I'll try before halftime. That's halftime. 31-3. Use this time to rest your writing hand. I need to look at the stats for halftime, and then I'll rest my writing hand. On this episode of Life Hacks with Who Sends Rugby, I can't take credit for that life hack. I had a stream the other day. I had my beers ready, and I said, I don't have anything to open my beer with. I tried a pen. The pen was plastic. It started to crack. Someone just put in the chat, use a belt buckle. It's like MacGyver was in the chat. Very cool. Pronounced Owen. Okay. Irish names are tricky. Like I got Siobhan down. Neve, like the Niamh. I'm getting there with the Irish names. They're tricky. Patreon only for naked chat. Hell no. No. There's no naked chat for nobody. Nobody. Right, let's check out these halftime stats. MacGyver was one of my favorite TV shows. Yeah. I was never a huge MacGyver guy, but I would watch it if it was on. I can't remember. I was always more of a Hogan's Heroes guy, which was even older than MacGyver. I don't know why. match stats for South Africa. Let's have a look. Watching channel since the Six Nations. I love your reviews. I appreciate it, man. I do like watching rugby and talking about rugby with people. So that's the idea. It's pretty cool. It's been really fun. Can you pronounce what? No. Cow. I can't pronounce it. How do you pronounce it? Jasper says, I must admit, I haven't backed you on Patreon yet, just squidge, but I will remedy that soon. Greetings from the rainy Netherlands. I appreciate that, Jasper, man. Definitely no rush. I do try to put a bit of stuff out on the old Patreon. Like I've been recently, you wouldn't believe the amount of All Blacks related merchandise that is available. So I've just been taking photos of that and putting random comments on Patreon. I do the Super Brew videos on Patreon, so it's a bit of fun. But cheers, Jasper. That's very fun. Thank you. I noticed that Kiva. Really? Kiva. I would have never got it. My first job, if you guys don't know, just a quick little bit of history. I used to work in China for like 7 years. I got back to New Zealand and I was looking for jobs. And everyone was like, well, what have you been doing? You've been working in China. No, I'm not going to hire you. So I took my first job was in a call center at the university I work at. And when students would call up, their name pops up on the screen. So you can go, hi, University of Auckland, you're speaking to Mark. Is this Jasper? And then they say yes, and they feel welcomed. And then every now and again, an Irish name would pop up. I didn't know Siobhan before. I was like, if I didn't know how to pronounce the name, I would just say, hi, University of Auckland, this is Mark, how can I help you? Instead of saying their name, which is against our policy. But when you see Siobhan enough times, I like Google that, oh, Siobhan, that's how that works. So, yeah. That's a thing. Kiva. Squidge in here are the best. Squidge rugby is awesome. That guy's got like tactical brains, tactical thoughts coming out of all the brains. So he's very smart, and very funny. Although he's been having issues on his Twitter. If you guys have been following him, he's been having issues with his World Cup content being flagged on YouTube. It's like the main, like you guys know, I don't use any clips in my game, and that's the reason why. Because apart from the fact that I hate editing, but yeah, like Six Nations is cool with him using the content, but World Rugby seems to be not. So yeah, he can't post it on YouTube without it getting flagged. What's your day job? Are you married? I still work at the university. I'm no longer in the call center. I worked in the call center for a while, and then I went and got another job at the uni, and then I got another job at the uni. So I work at the university, just doing an office job, but I don't have to answer the phone anymore. So that's cool. And I am married. I got 2 kids. Sometimes you can hear them crying in my videos. Yep. I always try and incorporate that into it. Driving Maul is drunk. Funny watching him. Paul, I think Paul enjoys a good beer every now and again. Finish that sake now, bro, please. It's in the other room, man. It's in the other room. I will finish it. Talk in Chinese. None of you guys can speak in Chinese, right? If you type something in Chinese, I'll see if I can say it. But otherwise, it's wasted. Finish that sake. We are watching. I gotta go out the room to get the sake, man. How about I just keep nursing this beer? Windhoek draft flowing over here. Cheers from Namibia. Yeah, man, I did buy some Windhoek beer over here. Oh, it's a South African shop that sells it, so I did buy some of the Windhoek. The bins are always my favorite interruptions of any video. The bins are always there on a Monday or a Tuesday because bins go out on a Monday and bins go in on a Tuesday. So if you hear a bin in my video, because they're just going down the driveway, just down next to the house, then it's a Monday or a Tuesday. Count to 10 in Chinese, man. Come on, too easy. Too easy. You got to give me. Oh, what is that? What did he write? Well, quite yao. Did he write, I'm going to get naked? I'm not sure about those last two characters. Well, I know the last one, but the second, yeah, okay, I thought so. I can't read them, but I know what they mean. Score is 31-3 at halftime. Windhoek is a popular beer here in South Africa, but it's from Namibia. Yeah. Stephen, you and your sake. Oh, well, you gave me $50 Canadian, so I guess I do have to get the sake, don't I? All right, give me a minute. I will be back, people. I'll be back. You and Gareth Mathan must do a collab. I know. 我觉得南非最好的团队. I think South Africa are the best team. See, I speak Chinese, man. Come on. I'll be back. I'm going to get sake.
Training where they're going to have to maintain their standards and 2 or 3 games where they're expecting to win quite comfortably, having played the All Blacks already. This is all part of a broader plan, isn't it? Yeah, it's like we're at a tournament, a World Cup, and it's always about a process and like the different setting changes is obviously about trying different combinations and testing things, and now's the time to do it when they're clearly out by 31. Okay, so look, the players from both sides.
Right, I have returned with sake in hand. What's he doing? He was getting the sake as instructed because someone gave me $50 for the Japan victory. The guy who sent me sake a long time ago. Sake. Japanese sake. He's getting a stripper pole. No, he's certainly not getting a stripper pole. That's for sure. Steve, I hope you're happy. You and the imbiber. In Japan at the moment, enjoying the Japanese victory. I still haven't written down those halftime stats yet. Let's do that now. I don't do Twitter, so thanks for the heads up on Squidge about his videos. I wish they'd leave channels like that alone as they contribute. Yeah, I know. They get flagged and stuff all the time. That's why I don't touch any of the footage stuff because it's just too risky. Man, Namibia have 77 run meters at halftime. Not good. Cool. Halftime stats are done. Ruben, again, I'm backpacking in Auckland next July. Where can I see some good club rugby, mate? Ah, man. Cheers, Ruben. Again, I'll go with the beer. There's club rugby on. My dad goes to watch, what's that team name? College Rifles. College Rifles, which is actually not our nearest team. I don't know why he supports that team. He used to support another team called Grammar Carlton, but then he fell out with some of the people there. So my dad goes pretty much every week unless it's really raining because he doesn't like going in the cold. But yeah, if you want to go to a game, I'll go to a game with you for sure. For sure. Squidge has called out Sky a few times too for his videos. Joe Schmidt's post-conference was disappointing, moaning about the refs and offsides. Ref blaming. I did a video about that. Ref blaming is a thing. And no country is immune to that. New Zealanders have done it. South Africans have done it. You Aussies have done it. We've all done it at some point. Just subscribe, says Stefan. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. I'm 73rd in the Super Brew pool. I haven't checked my one, but I certainly didn't pick that last result. We all do the ref blaming thing. Yeah, exactly. New Zealand coaches don't do it though. Oh, do they? You play for College Rifles. Nice one, man. My dad probably has seen you around. My dad goes to all the games. If you don't know which one my dad is, he's the one talking. Bald guy talking. New Zealand coaches don't do it. Do New Zealand coaches do ref blaming? I'm sure there have been some. But maybe not. Right, let's go and boom, get rid of those comments. Pour a little sake. I probably should pour a little sake. I'll do that in a minute. Can't forget Wayne Barnes. Yeah, we still go on about Wayne Barnes a wee bit here. Largely forgotten, but not all. Hansen. Yeah, I don't think Hansen does it openly anyway. Old code. What's his name? Hurricanes coach. Not Plumtree. The guy who preceded Plumtree. The guy who won the title. His name escapes me right now. Still blame the ref for Australia versus South Africa in 2011 quarters. Yeah. When your favorite Mitre 10 Cup team loses to Southland, that's when you need a beer. Is John Kerwin on TV over there? John Kerwin only does... He usually only does Sky. So he's not... But I feel like he's over in Japan at the moment. I'm not sure if he's doing Sky content or Spark, because I think he's contracted to Sky. He usually does the breakdown. But he is over in Japan. Boyd, that's right. Yes, Boyd. I hope Japan goes through, as it will mean England would be the only host nation not to get past the group stages. That's cold, man. That's cold. That shouldn't be the reason you want them to go through. That's hilarious, but it's cold. Wayne Barnes was young in 2007. Mistakes were made. Get over it. Yeah. I think he probably learned from that too. But it happens. Who do you think will win the Rugby World Cup? I mean, I have to say New Zealand, right? Still favourites, but we'll see how they go. We've seen with Ireland how much it can turn around in just 1 week. So, Craig Joubert can never go to Scotland after the Rugby World Cup quarterfinal against Australia. That was weird when he ran off the pitch, right? He ran off. He just ran. Right, second half is underway. Why did Ireland kick it out at the end? I was dying. Yeah, I didn't know either. Apparently, they didn't hear the hooter or the gong. But, honest, man, that's like situational awareness. You need to know. You need to know. If you're in doubt, you need to not kick it out. Kiwis will never forget Wayne Barnes and the underarm ball by the Aussies, says Big Will. Yeah, the underarm one still comes up. That is true. Do you watch NRL? I don't watch much, man. I see the highlights every now and again, but that's about it. I used to watch it a lot when I was like quite young, like 10. I watched more league than I did rugby, but then I changed. But that was before rugby was professional, I think. Like when I was 10, rugby was still amateur. And the NRL, was it called the NRL then? Before Super League was a thing, they had way better marketing. It was much more attractive to a young kid who didn't know nothing. So like the logos and all the gear and stuff was all really well marketed. Craig Joubert has a price on his head, but most Scots would have him for free. Yeah. Winfield Cup. Yeah, back when cigarette companies could sponsor sports events. All the Formula One cars that used to have Marlboro on them and stuff, and West. Who do you think's the heaviest team in the Rugby World Cup? That was funny watching the Tonga game. They said that their pack was like 150 kilos heavier than Argentina's, but that just could be Ben Tamiafuna because that guy's huge. Yeah, Tonga purely because of Tamiafuna. Tamiafuna is a big unit. I remember he was kind of in line for a possible All Blacks spot at one point, but I think they told him to like lose some weight, basically. And it seems like since he's been overseas, he's been told to pack on some pounds. So I guess it depends what they want him for. 150 plus kgs. Yeah, man. The Namibia guys look like they weigh 150 pounds. They don't look the biggest, although one of those props, the loose head, looks like a pretty solid unit. Yeah, there's the tight head as well. They both look pretty solid. Fiji must be close to having the heaviest team. It's funny because I spoke to my mum, who watches rugby like every now and again, when the Fiji-Uruguay game was on, and she was telling me, like, this doesn't look fair. These Fijian guys are just way bigger. And I was like, they still lost. It's not always about being bigger, I guess. My English mate was loving the Japan upset. I can bet. Pretty much everyone except Ireland is probably pretty pumped for the Japan upset. We all love seeing the upset. A cool underdog story. Favorite referee. Favorite referee. Probably Nigel Owens. That's a kind of a cliche answer. Current score is 31-3. 43 minutes gone. Namibia are lining up a penalty. Hit the post. Not quite. Who would you rather have to tackle, Tamiafuna or Lomu? I've never seen Tamiafuna in person, at least not unless he's been playing. I did see Lomu when he was at a night market here when I was getting some food. It's a few years ago now, before he died, obviously. And he looked pretty unwell, but I mean, in his prime, he was a monster. So maybe he's still Lomu in his prime. At least he'll just crack me over and just keep going. Tamiafuna, don't know. Neither answer is a good one there. Japan winning might be good for the Boks if they can get to the quarterfinals. Yeah, you might be right, man. It's going to be interesting to see how Pool A plays out now, because there's still multiple teams that could top it. My son-in-law is half Irish, and he has turned his phone off. I can understand why. You wouldn't want to shout Ben Tamiafuna for a feed. He's apparently 150 kilos. Yeah, that guy must be eating a fair bit to keep up all that muscle and just general weight. South Africa are making a lot of mistakes. Yeah, South Africa are looking a bit relaxed, I guess. So it's a thing. What's my favorite sport? Stefan, I'll give you 3 guesses. I do like a multitude of sports, but rugby is definitely number 1. I was actually thinking about doing a video about the things I like and dislike about rugby at some point, like a list. 10 things I like and 10 things I dislike, because there's some stuff that still drives me nuts about the game as well. Oh, this is getting real scrappy, isn't it? Who's the referee for this match? French guy, I forget his name. Oh, Thomas Dutour's coming on.
The sweetness attaching to the ball that's making it so hard to get a grip on.
You would have to use that theory.
What's up with the nasty clown?
Absolute records. You can see that nice change there.
Pascal, right. How many French refs are at this tournament? It's like 4?
66%
Garces is there. Poit is there. Pascal's there. I'm sure there's another one. I'm forgetting. Yep, too bloody many. That South African away kit is awful. Right. Okay. Just get rid of that nonsense. Do you watch much Northern Hemisphere rugby? And Angus Gardner is at the World Cup, Matthew. Northern Hemisphere rugby, I used to watch, like, I would just call it when it's on. So I would turn on TV if there was rugby on. I'm like, cool, I'll watch that. But I never actually sat and watched it week in, week out. But last year, I started watching the Champions Cup week in, week out, as many games as I could. And I watched the Six Nations every game. I'd never watched Six Nations every game before. Again, it was kind of the games that were on, not at 3 a.m. I would watch them. The ones that were at 3 a.m. I was like, I'd want to see the results in the morning. So, yeah, I've started watching a lot more, and it's cool because it means I start to get a bit more feeling and knowledge for those teams as well. What country like Japan and apart from the tried and true would be good to host a Rugby World Cup, do you think? I guess America, man. America and Canada, maybe? But the concern, is making a hell of a line break. Try time, Galan. The thing I worry about America is if they didn't care about the game, I would... Like, if they didn't buy into it, that would be disappointing. But I like to think if they marketed it properly, they could. No one cares in the USA. They do have a lot of other sports to care about. Which nation do you think is going to be the next rugby superpower in the next decade? That's a tough question as well. Namibia coach is kicking his desk. I feel like Argentina and Japan will get a lot better. Like, I don't know if you would call Argentina a superpower yet, but they're certainly one of the top teams. I feel like they're getting a lot better, though. My missus was saying, your wife must be a patient woman with you being okay to watch a lot of rugby. I'm still training my missus to be a good rugby wife. Yeah, that's a give and take thing, man. So, yeah, she's pretty good. I still have to do my fair share of chores and whatnot around the house. So, yeah, I'll pay for it. Italy would be a great place to have Rugby World Cup. True. Hopefully that'll grow the game in Italy a bit as well, especially with Benetton doing really well. What a conversion. 38-3. After 49 minutes, that had been quite a break in scoring for South Africa. I love the look on Frans Steins' face as Galant went to score. The look on his face was like, oh, you should have just passed it to me. Japanese are so welcoming. Yeah, that's good. I think they have been pretty keen on the tournament and been very welcoming to all the teams. Do your neighbors know you're famous? And if so, can they handle the paparazzi snooping around their rubbish bins? No. My neighbors couldn't care less. I have been recognized once. The first ever time was at a local takeaways. I went to buy some fish and chips, and the guy was like, "You're the guy who does rugby videos." And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "They're cool, man." I was like, "Nice." And then he's like, "What do you want?" And I ordered my food. And because he recognized me, like a couple of weeks later, I was like, said to my wife, like, "We should get some food. I want to go back to that place. That guy recognized me." I went back in there, and I went in like I knew him from our last conversation. I was like, "Oh, hey, man. How's it going?" And he was like, waiting with his pen and paper, like, "Yeah, what can I get you?" It was like 0 to 0, man. 0 to 0. I have been recognized a couple of other times. A guy took a selfie with me the other day at the supermarket. He's like, "Yeah, the guy who does rugby videos." And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Can I take a selfie? My girlfriend and I watch you all the time. I want to prove to her that I saw you." I was like, "Yeah, okay, cool." Oh, Mapimpi's going to score. No. Oh, great try-saving tackle from the Namibians. Damn, that was crazy. Checking in. Did you finish the sake? Stephen, I was waiting. I went and got the sake. Where you been? Sake is here. There's more sake here than I thought was here. Yeah, it was a funny story. Heat that sake. It's cold out. Yeah. The barber told me you're only supposed to heat sake if it's like cheap stuff. Apparently this one doesn't need heating. So what's the score? I think it's still 38-3 because they didn't score there. Dude, your feed is literally 4 seconds ahead. Oh, I'm ahead of somebody. I'm behind most of the people. I'll try to keep like a 4-second delay. No spots tonight. He knows. He knows. He knows what. Any thoughts on Aragorn at 7 and the Lord of the Rings 15? Oh, he knows not to heat the sake. Yeah, there we go. Ever considered a video about a Lord of the Rings 15? I've seen on Twitter there's been a whole bunch of 15s, like musicians 15, actors 15, all kinds of stuff. I guess Aragorn would make a pretty good Lucy. No, man, you can heat all sake. But are you supposed to heat the sake? I don't know these things. I'm not a huge sake drinker. Is it hard being a famous YouTuber and still having all the ladies throwing themselves at you? Bro, you should see my analytics. If you go into the analytics and look at the demographics, I think it's like 96% dudes. So I'm all right in that regard. My wife is not worried in the slightest. I've seen takeaway shop guy recognize me. Oh, I'm a pimpy. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. I'm pimpy to score a try. One guy at the Sunwolves game recognized me. One guy at an Eden Park game recognized me. It's happened like 4 or 5 times. So, yeah, I can live with it. I can live with it. Great line. Imbibe high. I may have drunk a bit, but wow. Let's get it on. Have you enjoyed that sake? How about a whiskey? Been waiting for you. All right, I'll get some sake going. Sake. Right. For Japan's victory, Mr. Mbaba. I hope you're having fun in Japan. Yum. Daylight savings tonight. Yes. The New Zealand clocks are going forward an hour. I think that means I get 1 hour less sleep, but luckily my kids do not know it's daylight savings, so they'll wake up at the same time. That a boy. There we go. The sake is going. Kampai. There we go. Stefan, just subscribed. I appreciate that, man. Favorite college rugby team in Auckland? I don't know if I have a favorite college rugby team. I went to Onehunga High School. Our rugby team was not very good. Not very good at all. Check the conversion. 45-3. Is Namibia even on the board yet? They do have 3 points. They missed one penalty. They could have had 6. We are having a 12-year-old Yamazaki. Shots on, Kampai. Okay, I've probably got like 2 or 3 shots left of your 2015 sake. Yeah. I've had 90% Japanese alcohol before. Cost $600 a bottle. That doesn't sound very good for you. 55 minutes gone. South Africa are still 10 points behind, going a point a minute. So 100 points at this point is looking pretty tough. Daniel, you go to Onehunga High and you play for College Rifles. Man, you got the connection. What's going on? Oh, Yankees just got taken out again off the ball. Onehunga smacked your score. Okay, fair enough. We have more if you want. I bet you guys are going to be drinking all the alcohol in Japan tonight. I don't think there's going to be any left. I did see an article that said there might be a beer shortage in Japan with the Rugby World Cup. Aragorn and Boromir are the locks in the Lord of the Rings team. Oh, Rhinox on. Sake bomb, sake bomb. You guys are terrible, man. Trying to get me drunk. Come over. We have babysitters. I do not have a babysitter. Guess who's looking after the kids tomorrow? Yours truly. But still, sake, cheers, people. Congratulations to Japan. Commiserations, Ireland. Nobody's out of it. Nobody is through yet, so we'll see how it plays out. Hey, 2 cents. It's my brother's birthday today. Can you give a shout out to... Haha. Haha. G-Man fell for one of those. Didn't fall for that one. Haven't had that much to drink. You'll be on your way then. Yeah, man, you got to bring me something a bit more tricky than that. G-Man's one was Mike Hunt. Japan win. Japan did win. I'm a champion. Have a good night. Yes, boys. Have a good night over in Japan. Enjoy the celebrations. The sake is pretty much done. There's probably 1 shot left, so cheers, guys. Joe did really well for Japan tonight, don't you think? Yeah, The second half didn't go well, so whatever his plan was at halftime didn't seem to have the desired effect. So you'd have to say Jamie Joseph got the better of them in that department for sure. How's Nkosi doing? He can't view the game in South Africa. Nkosi's not had as much of the ball. I feel like more of it's been going Mapimpi's way. Sometimes the game just runs that way. Jamie Joseph is underrated. Yeah, probably, man. I mean, he coached the Highlanders, which is the perennial team that gets forgotten about here in New Zealand. They report on the Blues more than they do the Highlanders, even though the Blues are pretty ordinary. Kolisi gets a try. Nice pass from Brits. Good hands, man. Just all around. All very good. Who are your favorite rugby teams? Well, I'm a New Zealander, so I support the All Blacks. I'm an Aucklander, so I support the Blues. That used to mean supporting two very winning teams, but not for quite some time. The Blues are less than impressive these days. The New Zealand commentary team are really talking up Schalk Brits, by the way, for you South African fans. Talking up Brits is the option in the Lucies. Have a good night. All right, man. Take it easy. It is 50 points to 3. Yankees is about to take a conversion attempt. It's right on the hour mark. Amazing crowd for this game as well. Really well attended. Would love to see Crusaders against Saracens. I know, right? But I don't think it'll ever happen. He has shanked the kick, so it remains 50 points to 3. Favorite team in each rugby competition? I know, man, that is tough. That's tough. I'm mostly neutral for most of those competitions, but I guess I do generally go for the underdogs. But that being said, Mark from Ireland has sent me so much gear, and he's a hardcore Leinster fan, so it's kind of not – it's hard not to be partially a Leinster fan based on how much just – that guy sent me jersey after jersey after jersey. First Pro 14 jersey I had was Leinster. First Champions Cup jersey I had was Leinster, so you know what I mean. Are you playing the World Cup match predictor? If so, how are your predictions going? I'm doing it on Super Brew, and I'm going okay. I'm kind of upper mid-table. I'm definitely not the top. I'm in the top quarter. Or at least I was before today's games, although I don't know how many people picked Japan, so... See Bay of Plenty smashed Hawke's Bay today. What was the other game? I feel like there was another game. I'm a Brits fan. I don't know why so many of our boys are complaining about him. He's a busy player. Partly because he's old, I think. People like to see young guys coming through. Japan-Samoa game is going to be the game of the World Cup after Japan beat Ireland and Samoa are going to beat Scotland on Monday. Yeah. Wellington, Northland. Right. Are you live streaming Australia-Wales? What time are the games on tomorrow? I think it's at like 8:45 over here. If it's that late, then I should be able to. Matches. Yes, 8:45. So I will be able to stream Australia-Wales. That's going to be an interesting one. Canterbury crushed Counties. Well, after Counties lost to Southland, I'm kind of not surprised. I predicted Japan, went out on a limb and predicted them in TAB tipping. I am playing TAB tipping. I got a $10 free bet the other day. Yes, I did put into that competition, which is one of the betting companies here. They've been doing just World Cup related stuff. Awesome, you'll be here. Nice. Look forward to that one. It should be a massive game. Probably less talk about alcohol and more talk about rugby during the Australia and Wales game, but hey, 50 points to 3. This one is. What happens if the number one team going into the Rugby World Cup don't leave their pool? Has that ever happened before? I would not think so. Honestly, most underrated YouTube channel. Love your videos. They are very well done. Well researched with almost no bias. I try to keep it pretty down the middle. I do slip up sometimes, and the research sometimes fails as well. But it's a one-man operation. I do my best, so I do appreciate that, man. That's cool, though. I learn a lot in the comments. Like, I know nothing about the Uruguay rugby team. I ask people for feedback, and they'll tell me, look up for this guy, look up for this guy. And same with Super Rugby. Like, I'll say, I haven't seen this guy play before. People will tell me, hey, he played Curry Cup. He's really good, or he's pretty average, or that kind of stuff. So it's really good. It's kind of like a collaboration between all of us. So it's cool. Jonty is back. Hey, Jonty. What's your next Rugby World Cup bet? Like actual money bet? I lost on my last one because the TAB here, which is our betting company, and I mostly only gamble with their money. A long story, but I don't have any of my money on their account, but I've accumulated a few free bets and whatnot. My last one was one of the Fijian guys to get a try against Uruguay. It didn't happen. So my next bet, I did put a free bet on France to go out in the quarterfinals. That's my next bet. I bet Samoa to beat Scotland and get a bonus point. Wow, nice. Yay for free bets. Yeah, free bets are the best kind of bets. Basically, with me at the TAB, I had an office pool where we all put money on the TAB. That season where the Hurricanes won Super Rugby, I picked the Hurricanes. I put $20 on at the start of the season, made some money, and I got a free bet at a Blues game. They put that money on my account. So I withdrew all the money and kept like 20 or $40 on there. And I just played around with the TAB's money. So there's like $100 on my account. It goes up, it goes down. That's gambling. You know, if you're going to do it, you got to be careful about it. So I've never been that much of a gambler, but if it's the TAB's money, it's a bit of fun. Even if you don't win, you don't lose your own money. Exactly right. Oh, Britt's finally got a try. 38 years old. Damn. Second international try. Seems pretty chuffed. Another try from a lineout, man. How many tries have they had from lineouts? You have 57 cents in your TAB account. Well, it's better than 2 cents. That's for sure. I just want to see Owen Franks get a try. Yeah, I think that guy's All Blacks career is done, eh? It's a pity he never got one. Just never managed it. Oh, now I'm 12 seconds ahead? Come on, man. At least the result's not in doubt. I love the TAB, but probably shouldn't keep missing child support and car payments. Yeah, if you are going to go to the TAB, you do need to kind of prioritize other stuff first. That should be kind of like anytime I gamble, I look at it as in this is to play. Like imagine I'm buying movie tickets. That's money that's going to go rather than I'm going to make money on this. Otherwise, you get yourself in trouble. He has slotted that conversion. Pretty nice stuff. It's 57 points to 3. 57-3. Favorite rugby players? Most teams, my favorite guy is going to be the guy who makes us a bunch of tackles. I mean, I got to think for the try-scoring guys too, but those real workhorse players get turnovers, make tackles. You got to love guys like that. They do all the hard work. Britt's unlucky he played at the same time as Bismarck, Duplessis, and John Smith. Could have had 100 caps. Sometimes that happens, eh? I mean, you look at Matt Todd in New Zealand, and he's been behind Sam Cane and Richie McCaw for a long time. He might have had more caps in other countries, so it's just bad timing. Thoughts on Cardi? Cardi had the ball on the string at the start of that game, man. His kicks were doing lots of damage, but yeah, it didn't seem to pan out for the latter half of that game. Andrew Hoare. Wasn't Andrew Hoare the one who got in trouble for like shooting seals or something? Something with firearms? Or am I thinking of someone else? Yeah, that one. Okay. Yep. Shooting seals along the coast. Not something you should be doing. He's class for Connacht, though. Yeah, for sure. I mean, he was class at the start of that game. So, yeah, he was doing really well. He's definitely a valid selection in that squad, for sure. Oscar Pistorius. Who's mate? Well, he was mates with that. Oh, what's that guy's name? The number 9, who was a winger as well. Jamon's going to bed. Cool, man. Yeah, stream tomorrow for the Wales game if you're up. Simon is stuck on his Hugard. That's right, Francois Hugard. Thank you, Big Will. And Jordan got it as well. And Gerard got it as well. And Apiwa got it as well. Yeah. Thank you, guys. You got much better memory than me. Simon's stuck for his Lord of the Rings team. You got any of the Hobbits in there? Sure, the Hobbits can play. Well, you've only got one Hobbit. Okay. The halfback, of course. Did you see the 2 South African players, what they did after they came on the pitch was shaking the hands of the teammates? But one? No, I didn't notice, man. What happened? The Namibian coach is getting pretty peed off. I wish Apiwa Deontay was in the Bok team. Yeah, but he's got to sort out those drugs things first. Seems like both his samples tested positive, so you ain't going to be in the team when you're under that cloud. They pulled their hands away. Not a Lord of the Rings fan. The best trilogy was the Star Wars and Back to the Future. Yeah, I'm not that into the new Star Wars movies. I've seen a couple of them, and they didn't do it for me. Maybe I'm getting old. 10 minutes to go in this game. 57 points to 3. He was amazing to watch. Yeah, he was. I always like to give these guys the benefit of the doubt, but when both samples test positive, it is not a good look. I think he was injured at the time he was tested as well. So maybe he thought, I don't know if he's guilty or not, but maybe you think if I'm injured, I'm not going to get tested. I don't know if that's the way it works. I have never watched other of those series of movies. It's a lot of hours to commit to those series, to be fair. Do you think Japan could make it to the semis? I think Japan has to play either New Zealand or South Africa in all likelihood, whatever position they finish, if they do make it into the top or second position of their pool. I don't think many people would bet on them beating South Africa or New Zealand again, or they have never beaten New Zealand or South Africa again. But then again, most people probably didn't think they were going to beat Ireland, so stranger things have happened, but I wouldn't be putting money on it. Is this game being played at a smaller stadium, not watching the game? No, the stadium looks pretty big, and it's pretty full, so South Africa is a big draw. Did you see the Toyota Cheetahs versus Glasgow Warriors? Didn't the Cheetahs have like a massive win? Massive, right? He was tested before his injuries. He's got injured a couple of days after the block camp. Okay, that's good information. Again, I hope by some miracle it's all some kind of misunderstanding, but so far it's not a good look. You got drunk yet? Hopefully not. I don't think so. Like a beer and a half plus a couple of shots of sake. I'm 6'4", so that shouldn't do it to me, but you never know. Again, getting old. Elton Yankees just dropped it cold. He tested positive to various steroids. It wasn't just one. For me, it's doping 100%. Sometimes might be from tainted supplements, but that doesn't explain why he tested for so many steroids. As long as you don't plan on driving after. I do not plan on driving. I plan on sleeping, although I will do a review before I go to bed. But the review is basically going to be South Africa were pretty good. They made some mistakes and it got scrappy, and they were pretty good at times. Spoiler alert. How old am I? I got this question wrong the other day. I said I was 37, but I'm only 35. But I am 36 next week. Cheers to being 36 next week. After the exodus of Super Rugby teams, do you think the Cheetahs are the best rugby club right now? I don't know. I haven't followed the Cheetahs and Kings that much since their trips into the Pro 14. I know the Cheetahs did well in that first year. Then they lost a ton of players and did pretty ordinary. So I hope they can turn it around. What do you do at AUT, if you don't mind me asking? I work at AU rather than AUT, but it's just an office job, man. It's like I'm still in a call center, not the original call center, a different call center, but instead of answering the phones, I'm like a low-level manager. Very low level. Not even a manager, a team leader. So there you go. After 40, you stop counting. I think I've already stopped counting. Like the guy who I was talking to was 42, and he asked me how I was, and I really thought I was 37 for some reason. And then I asked my wife later, and she said I was only 35. So that was cool. It was like getting younger, which is not a feeling you get very often. Wasted whiteboard space for the Japan game. Yeah, I didn't put the penalties up. I think for like the quarterfinals and stuff, I'll start putting the penalties and whatnot up. But with the pool games, there's the threat of so many tries being scored that I've been sticking to just tries. My husband likes to remind me I'm fast approaching 50. Not anywhere near 50, so quite a few years to go. Okay. That's one way of doing the marriage thing. Tell your wife she's going to get old. Ever play rugby video games? Yes, I used to play Rugby 08 quite a lot, and the preceding game to that, I played Rugby Challenge a wee bit, but nothing after that because I kind of got frustrated by how it wasn't that good. Cheetahs are back on the way up now. Well, they won the Curry Cup, right? So that's kind of the foundation, and then now the Pro 14 team's doing good. I really hope so. Call center. You're not Indian. Fairfu, my staff are Indian, Filipino. It's a good mix. Hi, Two Cents. Thanks for your live streams. Good job, mate. Ireland could be even more dangerous and unpredictable if that makes the quarterfinal against the All Blacks. Yeah, I mean, Ireland's record against New Zealand of late is decent, man. So they didn't look like a team that was going to beat the All Blacks tonight, but then they looked a lot better in their game before. So if Ireland show up against the All Blacks, they are a team that could certainly beat the All Blacks. I'll put it that way. Any plans for my birthday? Not really. I think there's a game on my birthday, and it's a pretty good one from memory. So I'll probably be watching rugby, which is a pretty good birthday gift. Can't complain. Again, I'm 35, turning 36, so the birthday thing's kind of getting old for that. South Africa have knocked it on while on the attack. Well, you got to understand, those of us who don't get to watch the game live, who's ever things to do. Yeah, I try to go over all the penalties that were scored verbally, but don't write them down. So one of my mates in Australia actually told me, and most of the people, if you look at the stats, watch on the phone. They probably can't read their whiteboard anyway. But yeah, I definitely will write the penalties and whatnot for the quarterfinals and stuff. Rumors the CLC Sharks are going to have a foot in both seasons for the Pro 14 and Super Rugby. Yeah, I've heard that kind of stuff mooted that the South African teams will be looking for both. So it might happen. Super Rugby is not in its healthiest state, that's for sure. And I think a South African team hasn't won it for quite some time. The Sharks have never won it, so... Dangerous for the ABs. Ireland licking their wounds. ABs will be too strong, but at what cost? No one saw this coming. Yeah, fair point, man. If the All Blacks went into a game thinking, this team lost to Japan, it's going to be a cakewalk, that would be very dangerous. Not going to be called the Cell C Sharks for much longer, as Cell C is in financial trouble. That's unfortunate. I saw a guy in the supermarket today wearing a rugby league jersey from about 20 years ago, and it's had Video Easy written on it, which was a video rental store, like VHS tape rental store here in New Zealand. And I thought, yeah, that company doesn't exist anymore. ABs would not walk into the game with the attitude. Yeah, I like to think so. They're usually pretty clinical. I said box by 115. That was probably a bit optimistic. What did I put down in my Super Brew? Let's check. Super Brew. I picked South Africa by 49. So I underestimated the South Africans and overestimated the Namibians because they scored a couple of good tries in their first game, so I thought they might do a bit better. I remember Video Easy. Yep. Videos were a long time ago. Video Easy was in Australia as well. It makes sense. A lot of those stores were Australia and New Zealand. It was Video Easy and United Video here in New Zealand, and I don't think we had Blockbuster, but United Video had the same color scheme, so it might have been associated. I don't know. There's only like 20 seconds to go in this game, and it's 57-3, so it's going to finish comfortable without being an absolute embarrassment, so good for Namibia. Namibia could have gotten 6, and you would have been off by 2. There we go. If they kicked that penalty. Came late to the stream. Oh, Civic Video. Yeah, they had Civic Video as well. There's going to be one line out, and then I think the game is going to be done. Do more streams. I know, man. I'm trying. I can only really do them once my kids go to bed, though. That's the only thing. So I usually only do them for the late games. Late fee fines from Video Easy. That's back in the day, isn't it? Namibia is just going to kick it out. They don't want to concede 60. New Zealand definitely had Blockbuster. Yeah, it's getting a long time ago. I can't remember it. I know we had United. I know we had Video Easy. I was a Video Easy guy. But that was my local. Right. Interesting stream, guys. I think it was largely a bit sidetracked about random stuff, but also that Ireland result was crazy with Japan. So that's going to be a big talking point. I'm going to go. I'm going to get to reviewing the South Africa and Namibia game. I've actually taken remarkably few notes. I usually fill 2 pages, but this page is blank because it was all pretty straightforward for the Springboks. But we'll see. I'll do a quick review, jump off to bed. So yeah, cheers for the company on the stream, guys. It's been a bit of fun. And yeah, like I said earlier, should be able to do one tomorrow for Australia-Wales, which will be a pretty titanic battle. So if you guys are up, join me for that one. It should be pretty cool. And yeah, I will talk to you guys tomorrow. If you see my review, then I'll be talking to you in about 20 minutes. But yep, take it easy, guys. I'll talk to you again soon. See you.